What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Hands On Channel. I'm actually in a great mood today. I just went in and checked the Gateway Pundit. I was expecting the daily, normal drudgery, the negative news, all the bad things that are happening, all the different ways that the tyrants are taking our liberties away from us. I was expecting to see more of that. And I was just going to check it real quick. But at the top of the Gateway Pundit, we've got breaking news, and this is the best news. We all have cause to celebrate. If you love liberty and America as founded, you have cause to celebrate, whether you got the vaccine or not. Okay? It doesn't matter. I don't care. I'm not going to judge you if you got the thing. You know, maybe you were tricked into it. Maybe your job made you get it or whatever. You know, maybe you wanted to get it. I don't know. But I didn't want to get it. And a lot of the people that I know didn't want to get it. So this is astounding news. And I would argue that it opens up a lot of other possibilities for lawsuits, because now that there is no mandate, all these employers that fired people trying to get ahead of this mandate, they may be held liable for lost wages and stuff like that. So I don't know. I'm not a lawyer, but I would think that this means that the people that did get fired unjustly based on a mandate that never actually was constitutional would have a leg to stand on in the court of law. And probably, if they get the right lawyers, they should at least get compensated for their losses. So this just in, this is bombshell. Breaking news: Supreme Court blocks Biden's OSHA vax mandate for private businesses in a 6-3 vote. I mean, great job. Great job. Those 6 Supreme Court justices that actually remember the Constitution and liberty and what this country is all about. Although it's not all good news, it's mostly good news. So the U.S. Supreme Court on Thursday blocked Joe Biden's OSHA mandate for businesses with 100+ employees. However, the conservative majority allowed the healthcare worker rule to remain. Justices Roberts and Kavanaugh sided with the lefties. So we're seeing a trend here with certain Supreme Court justices. Kavanaugh is one of them. What a real disappointment he has been so far. And also, most of the time, Amy Coney Barrett, but I'm not sure how she voted in this case. I haven't really researched all that. I'm just so ecstatic that it was a 6-3 vote, and we're done with this vaccine mandate. Now, it doesn't mean they're not going to try to, reformulate some new plan and go at it through some different angle. Don't count them out, because they're hell bent on taking away your right to choose and choose what's right for your own body. A lot of us have, at this point in the game, have either natural immunities or health reasons that we don't want to take an experimental mRNA V, or, maybe it's just personal liberty. Maybe you have no reason other than that, or religious reasons or anything like that. Maybe it's none of that stuff. Maybe you just don't want to take the damn thing. And you should have the right as an American to choose whether or not you take that thing. And now that doesn't mean your employer can't have a policy, a company policy, where they mandate that everyone has to have the V. But I don't think they're allowed to exclude you if you file for a religious exemption. But under these OSHA rules, they were going to exclude all those people. So another question that this brings up is, how does this affect the military? I don't know. I'm not sure if this is going to undo the military mandate or not. It's a little bit different because Biden is the commander-in-chief of the military. So he has more direct say over the military than the American people. But this is another glaring example of how everything Biden has tried to do has turned to shite. 100%. He has the reverse Midas touch. If Biden tries to do it, it's not going to probably get done. Or if it does get done, it's going to be a disaster, like we're seeing all over the place. So this is another little quote here. They said that although Congress has indisputably given OSHA the power to regulate occupational dangers, it has not given that agency the power to regulate public health more broadly, the court wrote in an unsigned opinion. Requiring the vaccination of 84 million Americans selected simply because they work for employers with more than 100 employees certainly falls in the latter category, the court wrote. So here's from CNBC. The Supreme Court on Thursday blocked the Biden administration from enforcing its sweeping vaccine or test requirement for large private companies, but allowed similar requirements to stand for medical facilities that take Medicare or Medicaid payments. So see, there's the rub. If you take that federal money, Medicaid or Medicare, then you have to comply by all their rules. So just goes to prove that nothing is free in this world. When someone's handing you out free money, it's never free. Just remember that. It always comes at a cost. Maybe you don't recognize it or realize it right away, but it will come a knocking. That always comes with strings. So the ruling came 3 days after the Occupational Safety and Health Administration's emergency measure started to take effect. So that is the part of the problem, I think, with the way our system is structured right now, is you actually have to wait until damage is happening to be able to do anything. You can't stop people when they're broadcasting and they're telecasting, hey, we're fixing to do this damage to you. You can't do anything until the damage is done, if that makes any sense. You don't have a leg in court until the damages have been done. So that's one of the tragic things about the way our system works, is you have to actually wait until someone wrongs you before you have a constitutional argument. So they have to violate the Constitution. And it's not just about the build up to that. They have to actually do it. So that's one of the shortcomings, I guess, of our system, but it's gotten us this far. So I'm not saying we should change anything. That mandate required that workers at businesses with 100 or more employees must get vaccinated or submit a negative COVID test weekly to enter the workplace. It also required the unvaccinated workers to wear masks indoors at work. Chief Justice John Roberts, who was appointed by President George Bush, said during arguments that he thinks it's hard to argue that the 1970 law governing OSHA gives free rein to the agencies to enact such broad regulation. And I totally agree with that. There was no such thing as Rona back in 1970, as far as this modern C-19 version that we're going through right now, this basically communist tyranny. And it's really all it is, guys, is if you don't know by now, they have used every part of this C-19 to take away your rights, take away your liberties, take away your abilities to go out and earn a living, take away everything. That's what they've done with this. And, Trump is not innocent from any of this stuff either. Although I heard in another statement that Trump was adamantly opposed against forcing people to get the vaccine. So that's great news. I mean, I guess at least in that regard, I'm glad to hear that he's, not trying to force people into getting this thing. But on the other hand, on the other side of that coin, he's also one of the biggest proponents and pushers of the vaccine. So, it's like a lose-lose situation. And I'm seeing just astounding numbers of people dropping dead. I mean, athletes in their prime. One guy at the Ironman. Now, they didn't say if he had the vaccine or not, but every time somebody that's in an athletic, part of their life, like 25 or younger, and they're out on the soccer field or they're out swimming in a triathlon or whatever Ironman contest or some deal like that, and they drop dead from a heart attack, my mind automatically goes, yep, I bet they got the jab. I bet they did. And 9 times out of 10, I'm right. Bob Saget, he had just recently gotten his booster, I guess. So there goes Bob Saget. All of these people, you can't deny it anymore. It's happening on such a out in the open scale now that you can't deny it. I mean, when people like Bob Saget and, just others have gotten this thing, and then suddenly they die for no reason of a heart attack or some other thing like that, blood clots or other things. So very, very interesting. And I'm glad to be able to report some good news to you guys for a change, because I know it's almost always doom and gloom, and I want to try to glom onto these good news stories. We got to take these victories and hold them to our chest dear and treasure them, because they're far and few between. But this is a big deal, guys. Every single thing that Biden has tried to do has either been directly unconstitutional, or at least it looks unconstitutional on the surface. And so at least the Supreme Courts are recognizing that, and they're doing their duties. At least the majority of them, 6 of them, did their duties and voted against this unconstitutional mandate. Great job. Cause for celebration. I might even crack a cold beer open tonight on Thursday night, just because. Why not? I mean, this is a great bit of news for people that love liberty, and especially individual health liberty. My right to choose, my body, my choice. Remember all that stuff? So guys, have a cold one on me tonight, if you partake in that sort of thing. And if not, just enjoy it. Enjoy this victory. Don't spike the football. Don't give up the fight. But it's showing me that truth in the end usually wins. The problem is you have to wait for the injustice to be put upon you before it's going to all come out and be exposed. So we're still in for a bumpy ride. In my next video, I'm going to be talking about the supply chain, and it's not good news, guys. So I hope you guys are still prepping and stockpiling food while you can, because the news is not good on that front. So we'll get into that in the next video. Until then, guys, I stand for liberty. I hope you do too.